We've got this great equipment from Baileigh. We got a really cool project that's going to test each and every piece of equipment. And we're going to look at the pros and cons of each machine and make a whole bunch of noise. Okay, on our last episode, we shaped our corner pieces, got the flanges turned, got it fitting the buck really nice. Now we've got to concentrate on putting our detail beads in. So we've got one on the bottom. We've got this big one up here at the top with all this detail in it. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the bottom bead first, and the machines we're going to be using to accomplish that are the MH19 with the dies in it that put the bead in it, the same bead that we used in the bottom of the doors. But we're also going to use the planishing hammer to do some pre-stretching. And the reason you pre-stretch, especially going around a corner, is the metal, in order to make a bead, it has to come from somewhere. So if your panel's just straight, flat, and you try to put a bead in it, it's generally the bead is the strongest part, so it's going to pull down like this because the metal has to come from somewhere. So what it does is it just lifts and pushes down. But we don't want it to lift and push down. We want it to be level and up. So what we're going to do is pre-stretch the area where the bead's going to be. So what I did is I measured where the center of my bead was going to be. And I knew the center line of my die needed to hit right in that area. So to put this in the center where I needed it to be. So I just took some 1/4-inch tape or 3/8 tape and just wrapped it around it until I got the thickness I need. Just probably half a roll of $30 tape. But anyway, there you go. So that sets it so it has a guide, because on the inside of the panel, the blue is the guide. Keeps me right in line, keeps me where I want to go. I'll squirt a little WD-40 on it so it'll slide through easily. So right now we've got a really nice stretch going on right there. I'm going to give it maybe just a little bit more and it should be ready to go. Rule of thumb also is you want your stretch to be smooth. If your stretch is wavy, when you put your bead in it, the bead's going to be wavy because it's going to follow that. So you want to be sure you keep it nice and smooth. Now you can see I'm stretching more in this corner because it's going to ask for more material in this corner with the die. But actually I'm going to take some of this tape off and stretch me a little bit more closer. Okay, now we've got our stretch going on. Check it to the buck, be sure we didn't lose it. Looks good down there, in there. So we did a stretch without changing our shape. So now I've got the die set up in the MH19 here, and we're going to run it through and put our bead in the panel. Okay, so see how it fits, buck. Still fits nice and flat on the bottom. Our bead's nice. I tune it up a little bit by hand right here later, but it's still flat right into the bead. Right here around the corner, it's flat into the bead. So that looks really good. Okay, so next we're going to put this detail here into the top of the panel here. As you can see, this is pretty intricate. Way it swoops down, goes back straight, drops in, and there's a little step right here where the door, when it closes, the body bead will actually kind of fit in it, so the body bead on the door and the body will line up. So this is kind of a difficult piece to do. We made an aluminum die that is the inside of this piece right here. Has these details right here. So what we do is we'll cut a piece of sheet metal, drill holes where these pins are. Then this goes over it, sandwiches the two. Then in the hydraulic press, we're going to press this. Piero's going to play some really cool music while I'm setting this up in the press, and then we're going to smash it. As you can see, it's pushed everything down around the aluminum plate. Now I'm going to go in here and hammer this in with the chisel, cope it in to the die here before I pull it apart to get that final detail. There we go. Just going to tune up a little bit here on the sides. That should be great. So there we go, there's our piece. So I'm going to go to the kick shrinker and tighten up some of these wrinkles here. And then roll it up like this. And then I'll tighten everything up on the bench. Clamp it in place here. Got that line to line up right there. 21 3/4, boom. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim away all this excess metal that has this distortion in it from the stamping and just get to this piece right here. Okay, now the bead that we're going to do the half bead is here from the inside around. It has kind of a funky arc to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to position this in here where it needs to be, clamp it in place. Okay, so now we're going to curve from here to here. This is a pattern that I made off of the original body. So I'm going to use this piece of sheet metal here out here. I'm going to trim this. This is going to be my guide that I use to run my bead here. Okay, so I thought we were going to be able to use the MH19 for the bead, but this is our guide, and I need it to be 1 3/4 away, and because of the way it's made, it can't get in closer. So instead of modifying this and messing around with this, I'm going to go to the pullbacks and do it on the pullbacks. Still fitting our buck. I mean, it's actually fits even better now that we got some stiffness in this bead. Nice and flat. Fits down here, fits right here. Looks pretty good. Now I'm going to just fit this up, scribe it, trim it, cut it, and then we're going to tack weld it in. So here's our passenger side panel. It's been shaped, bottom bead, got our top detail in, got our bead coming around here. I'm going to finish welding it and metal finish that out. We're going to do the other side of it, join the two ends to the back panel, and then we'll finish our top finished detail here and our little bit of detail right here as this comes off straight like this, folds over. That's how we get to that point right there. See you next time. Thanks for watching.